Always there has to be a certain mindset of how is the bill going to get paid. Currently, when I do my artwork, I do other work and then
Yeah.
pay for that, right? The
Yeah.
art doesn't pay me, I pay for the art.
Same.
And
Yeah.
that's the only way that I can make sure that like I can have my heart in the spot where it goes because okay, now we can arrive back to I have this fear of selling out, right? I have this
Right.
fear of the marketplace. And so I've discussed that here lots of times. We asked Natalia about it, and like
Yep.
there was I don't know, I don't know about it yet. So recently, I have been thinking about the idea of systems and gaming the system, most
Sure.
importantly. So
Sure.
the I so if we think about gaming a system, anytime there's a system that has a certain set of outcomes that you want, then there are rules to get that outcome, and then the incentive becomes to do whatever it takes to get that outcome.
Right.
And so when we're in a market environment where, okay, so the economy is the allocation of scarce resources which have alternative uses, right? And so resources could be used for whatever thing, and I want those resources to be used on me and what I
Right.
want them to be used for, right?
Right.
And like my instruments and whatever else, right?
Yeah.
So in order for that to happen, then I have to make sure that I have a product or service that I can sell to the market that then that people will buy, right?
Right.
And
That
so
fulfills the value set of the market. Yeah.
that fulfills the value set of the market. Yes, you're correct. And so I am going to define value now, right? So value, the idea of value is you use resources, time, energy, attention, money, whatever else on this thing and
Mhm.
not on the other thing.
Right.
Value is measured against all opportunity cost, right?
Right. Right.
And so the point of the marketplace is to decide what has value and what we're gonna spend the resources on, what we're gonna like actually
Sure.
try to make happen, and what is going to be neglected as a result of our paying attention and resource to this thing, right? And
Sure.
so that's a system that has a certain set of rules and that can be gamed.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, there's a certain sense of it must be gamed in order to get the return on the investment that the economic return on the investment.
Sure. Yeah.
So so market value is different from things that are actually useful,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it's about to be the 4th of July here, and think about an ear of corn, right? It's
Right.
grilled up nice, got the little butter on there. You know what I mean? Handle your little
Real
salt
good.
and pepper
Real good.
business, whatever it is that you like to do. I
Yeah.
love me some corn on the cob, right? So a cob of corn, it's gonna be what, like 70 cents in the marketplace or something like this.
Give take. Yeah. Yeah.
But at no point am I eating three quarters, right?
You could
The
try.
Yeah, you could try. You might make it through one. You know what I mean?
It's
Dude,
not. It's not corn. I
it's
see your
not
point.
corn.
Quarters are not
Yeah.
corn. Yeah.
And so there's a kind of value that is inherent in like you chomp the corn and then you get a feeling from that uh does that the economic marketplace can't touch. And so
Sure.
there's something about creating something that is useful, delicious, that creates a feeling
Right.
that has a Venn diagram overlap with what is valuable in the marketplace. But much of what is valuable in the marketplace does not create the good feeling, but is still valuable in the marketplace, and so is the thing that a lot of people are going to go for and produce and whatever else. So,
There's been some really interesting work here with like environmentalism stuff where
mm,
people are trying to assign values to the experiences, the ability to go into the woods, right?
mm-hmm,
What is the value of that, right?
mm-hmm,
And the argument being, if you're going to work inside a market-driven system,
mm-hmm,
these things need to have input values assigned to them so that they can play in the system, right?
mm-hmm,
So, and where a government might look at the value of a new factory versus the value of an old growth forest. And right
mm-hmm,
now, it's like, well, the old growth forest doesn't produce a product.
mm-hmm,
It literally anti-produces a product. It stays where it is.
mm-hmm,
And so there is no value in a product or commodity driven
mm-hmm.
marketplace. But that's not the only way we can define value by commodity. We can also define value by experience, right? But we have to find a translation point for that to be able to to be able to compete against quarters. So like how much is the value of sitting in the forest? Like how much are you willing to pay for that? Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Becomes the translation of value, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to some degree the answer is, well, I certainly pay what the national parks will charge me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? And so anyway, but just saying that like it is interesting that we're at a point where a lot of people are starting to really ask this question of like, does value have to be tied to commodity, or can value be approximated to experience?
Sure. Well, I feel like we always have to, whenever we're thinking of with value definitions, we always have to come back to value is measured against opportunity cost.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so what you're willing to pay for the opportunity to sit in the old growth forest is not the dollar amount that you're willing to give up on entry of the old growth
No,
forest.
no, it's more than that.
It
Yeah.
it is the thing that you're willing to forego
Right.
in place of the old growth forest.
Right.
And
So in this case, if I am willing to forego a factory
mhm,
because I like or let's say the factory costs $500,000 to make, just for shits and
sure,
giggles. If I'm like, no, it matters more to me to sit in the forest. The value of the forest is at minimum $500,000
sure. Well,
because I
that's if
chose not to.
if the factory is going to make $500,000.
Sure, let's say that it's going to produce net revenue, net profit, five
Uh-huh.
hundred thousand dollars. And I'm
Sure.
like, no thanks. I'd rather sit in the forest. Then the
Right.
forest has a minimum value of $500,000.
Sure. Well, so the thing about this, though, is that opportunity cost is necessarily nebulous. There's no
Yeah,
way to know how much the factory is going to be worth. There's no way to know
right.
what you give up, what kind of opportunities you give up by playing on your phone in your living room instead of getting out into the world and adventuring, right? There's
A
no
lot.
way to measure. Right. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot. How much is a lot, you know?
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, so you're always measuring against opportunity rather than a certain like the difference between price and cost is an important one,
Right,
right? The
right,
price of the thing is not it the hopefully the price reflects the cost,
right, right.
but there's often a mismatch, especially when the cost is opportunity, because there's no way to know what opportunity, like opportunity is so in the realm of fortune. Like
Right.
it is inexplicable in that way, in that sort of like, oh, like, well, anything can happen kind of way, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So the as an artist or artisan or as a craftsperson or as a broke ass who's trying to make it in the market in 2024, right? Like
Right.
somebody who doesn't want to work their fucking job anymore and who needs to be able to pay bills. Like you need to be able to sell something that is valuable in the marketplace, right? So